what the storm did, called Barbara. So all the dead branches were removed by the storm, most of it. There's still a few up there. And the moon, the lesser light to rule the night, is just behind the clouds. I saw it about half an hour ago. I looked out the back window here in the White House. It was still high up, about the level of this palm tree there. But the clouds won't allow us to see it now. Then we had a very clear sky also about 20 minutes ago. That's a reflection of the clouds here on this little puddle. We had a very clear sky for all that very dark part, about that height, but then the clouds come in very quickly and took it over. I can't believe yesterday morning when I was speaking with you about the beginning of creation, about the earthquake in Syria and Turkey, and all the priests in my community had noticed it the night before, you know. But I didn't get to even notice it. I must have been, thanks be to God, profoundly asleep, and I didn't even notice that. But there was, the effects of it were felt here. One of our priests said that his bed was here in the White House. His bed was shaking, and here was, I think, about 4 point something, but obviously it was almost 8 points in Turkey and Syria, with all the destruction. I don't know if you remember Father Graziano. He lived here next door last year, and then he volunteered to go to Syria, and he sent a report, and there was damage done in their church in Homs, and the belfry was cracked. And then another friend who was here in pilgrimage some years ago, a Turkish man who became a Christian, and now he's studying to be a priest, and he's back home for some time in Turkey, and their church was completely destroyed. In fact, that picture is very, I saw it last night on Catholic News Agency, and with some extra pictures besides the one he sent me. And it's a terrible scene of destruction. I'm sure you all, I am not watching television, to be very frank. I have enough time just to produce this little thing in the morning. I don't even get to watch it afterwards. And but I'm sure you're very well aware of all the damage and the people who have died. Father Graziano also mentioned that I think 63 people, as he was aware of at the time he wrote me the message yesterday, had also lost their lives. So the first big thing we can do is pray. To pray for these people, for their families, and if we can help in any way, there are different agencies to help, different charitable agencies that you can trust. There are also scams that start up in these type of situations to horrible abuse of people's generosity and trust. Just make sure you're doing it in a good way when you're sending any help to people in need. And these occasions of new needs, urgent needs, dramatic needs, stir our hearts. And that's to do good. And to do good anyway. Even if somebody tries to scam, do good anyway. If somebody says it's no use, do it anyway. That famous attributed to Mother Teresa prayer, but actually had an earlier author. You can even just Google it, do good anyway. And just put down, do good anyway, Mother Teresa. But there's another guy called Keith Kent who actually wrote an earlier version. Her version is a little bit more gentle. And when people talk bad about you, do good anyway. If people don't like you doing good, do good anyway. Keep doing good. And that's the spirit of creation. That's the God we have. We're made in His image and likeness. That's the big line today. We love that line, don't we? To be made in the image and likeness of God. And thanks be to God, we have now over 8 billion people made in His image and likeness on this planet. What a cause for joy. Some people look around and say there's too many people because they're taking away some of my space. Come on. Do good anyway. Build up anyway. This is the spirit of creation. Do good anyway. The sun doesn't come out today. Do good anyway. Somebody was mean to me. Do good anyway. Somebody rejected me. Do good anyway. Don't be filled with complaint and bitterness. And that's one of the beautiful, beautiful things about the scriptures, that all through the scriptures is pervaded by this sense of creation. Today we have day 5 and day 6, the creation of life, the day of animate life, and then the creation of the human being. Male and female, he created them. There are problems in family life today. Do good anyway. Get married. Have children. Do good anyway. Bring people into the world. Collaborate with the Creator. Do good anyway. Child is born with some difficulties and some challenges. Do good anyway. Do even more good. Because there's more good happening in the world than all the evil, for sure. Otherwise it would fall apart. When there's more problems in our health system, in our body, and they mount and mount and mount, they take out our life. But there's so much good happening inside of us in that process, as one organ begins to fail and then another organ begins to fail. But there's still so much good happening, and that's why we stay alive. But at some point then, when the evil takes over, then the body doesn't have the resources to make that fight. The systems fail. Like Jesus on Calvary, the technical analysis nowadays that's pretty widespreadly understood that caused his death was pulmonary cardiac failure. So failures of the breathing system and of the heart system, of the blood system, two essential immediate ingredients for life. That we can breathe and that that our blood is circulating to deliver that oxygen to the body. You know, so he gave up his spirit at that point. And so if the world is still together, it's because there's more good happening than all the bad stuff. So we should take great courage from that. And not only that, we can rejoice. And even in the worst times, God's people pray the Psalms. And the name for the Psalms in the morning is actually the Hebrew name. That's the book of Psalms. They're called praise words, praise songs, praises. They're called praises, and that's the word of lauds. To laud somebody, magna cum laude, laud, laudatio. So we have the lauds every morning. Even if I wake up with a headache, even if I didn't have a great night's sleep, to wake up and to sing the lauds, because there's more good happening anyway. And God is there anyway. I was touched yesterday by a person who contacted me after seeing the video yesterday, because I made a little kind of a little hint, a little outreach there towards atheists and agnostics. And she was very touched, and she apparently is in conversation with many such people, and obviously, very, I'm sure, engaging conversations, not easy conversations. It requires a great thought and great respect to have conversation with people of very differing faiths and beliefs and belief systems. And then she decided to send out the video to them all yesterday. She prayed about it, and she sent out the video to a whole slew of friends because of the comments about atheists and agnostics. And they're a great challenge to us in our faith system, in our faith understanding, in our view of the world, our worldview. We believe that the world isn't just a bunch of by chance happenings. And that's actually a very reasonable conclusion, because there's so much intricate design from the smallest, slightest, most miniature particle of reality in the subatomic order to the macro constellations and systems in the stars and the galaxies, in the unending discoveries. As telescopes get better, we find more stuff out there. And some people have this idea that the faith and science are at odds. Well, actually, many of the sciences, and especially the first sciences, formal sciences, were founded by believing people. And if we research, many of the great scientists, also of our modern era, lay people, were believers. And I think a lot of people are aware that it was a Catholic priest that developed the first scientific formulations and system to understand the Big Bang. He didn't give it that name. Actually, the person who gave it that name was somebody who derided him, somebody who knew about science, and on the BBC he was deriding him. And he said, this priest is coming along with his Big Bang theory, you know. And he was laughing at it and saying it was preposterous. And even Einstein said to Father Lemaitre, this Belgian priest, he said, your math and calculations are absolutely fantastic, but your physics is absurd. He said something like that to him. That's not verbatim, but more or less. But afterwards, in 1923, Einstein apologized to Father Lemaitre, and he agreed because of discoveries that Hubble made, and there was another guy, Eddington, I think, they made regarding the Big Bang, or that theory that the universe is expanding and started from an infinitesimally small point. And so also the study of geology was a Danish priest who really is the founder of the study of, and he's actually canonized for other reasons, and I think it's Niels Stensen or something like that. And then seismology, talking about earthquakes, was called until recently the Jesuit science, because the Jesuits were the first to assemble data continentally that connected the dots between tremors in Cleveland and into South America. So if you research that, and there's fair description of the history of that, you will see, and actually the leading university on seismology up until the 60s at least was the Jesuit University in St. Louis in Missouri. So, and priests today continue having a leading role in sciences, studying science, passion for science. There were two brothers in Germany who were leading physicists in the country, and both of them became priests. One of them wrote an incredible book about the imprint of the Trinity in nature. And so there's no opposition, there's no hostility, there's no, from the people of faith, of the faith of the Bible, faith of that incorporates the great reason God gave us. He made us in his image and likeness. He made us with the capacity to, hey, look at the big lake and the small lake and the reflection of the sky, and even the seats here in this little pool, this little water log here. You know, it's very hard to make a piece of furniture as a carpenter without leaving the quality of your craftsmanship. And that's what God did. He gave us his own, an imprint, his own likeness and image. We're made in his image and likeness. 8 billion people today. Let's celebrate. And all of them have potential to be creative. And many of the people that we dismiss as not being great, it's because of our ignorance, because their greatness is, it's like those little grains down there on the seashore right now here, on this lake shore. And you think they're grains of sand, but you go down, you find that they're the most beautiful shells, miniature little shells. And there's so much beauty hidden in the souls of so many people that we dismiss because they're not great this, or they're not great that, or they're not very influential, or they're not very cool, or they don't wear the right colored dress, or they don't have the right kind of glasses. Give me a break. Keep doing good anyway, people. This is the wonderful world we're in. A world of greatness and creation, of goodness, of beauty. And all you wonderful friends, and I have good friends who are atheist and agnostic, God bless you. Keep us in your prayers. Sorry. Keep arguing, keep questioning us, because we have to keep thinking. We can't say silly things and stupid things. We have to ponder and think and use the full force of the reason God gave us, making us in his image and likeness. This world is so filled with his reason, with his intelligence, with his brilliance. Guys, when we hung up yesterday, it was not too much later. I was just going to breakfast when the sun came out and hit powerfully. So that would be almost going to prayer, actually going to Lauds. Speaking about Lauds, every morning in the community we pray our Lauds, the hymns of the psalms that were prayed in the temple regularly, faithfully, and we do that in the same order that were done the psalm praying during the day as it was done in the temple long ago. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Look at the readings. I didn't open up the readings, the text leader himself. I just give you a commentary on them, but I presume that you have the links here, both in the YouTube post that will go on afterwards, and you have the links in this post, in the Facebook, so you can read the text. Do that and pray that psalm there with such delight. God bless you. See you later, alligator. Enjoy this beautiful light, delight in the light. God bless you.